Hello, guys. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you're enjoying our Patreon this month about wishes and dreams. And I'm loving it, of course, because it's my birthday month. And so far, it's been a great month. I am really excited about the little book that we're going to create. You know, I know that we tend to make a lot of little books, but I will tell you that I have a basket full of little books, everything ranging in size from a 4x5, which is what this one is, to just small index card books. And I have to tell you that those books, they bring me such joy to create, and they bring me such joy to go back and look on. I love them. They are just full of wisdom, and I treasure all of my little books. So I hope that you're not tired of making them, because I know I am not. This book that we're going to do is an accordion book. I have a super simple video for you. What you're going to need is some watercolor paper. I purchased this at our local Walmart. It is a 140-pound weight, and I got this huge, wonderful pad of paper. There are 50 sheets in here for about $11. I thought that was really a good price. You can also find some really nice 140-pound weight watercolor paper at Five Below. I believe there's about 40 sheets in there, and it's $5. So obviously this is going to be cheaper, but if you're at a Five Below and you don't want to, have 50 sheets of watercolor paper, because I don't use it too often, I use it mainly for my books, that is a great resource, a great place to find your watercolor paper. Okay, the other thing you're going to need is either washi tape or masking tape. And a lot of times I use washi, but it's kind of fun to use masking tape too. So I'm going to do that. I buy my masking tape at the Dollar Tree. This is a super easy tutorial on how to create an accordion. So, all right, you're going to need, for our project, you're going to need 3 sheets cut into a 4x5 size. You can create this smaller if you like, or larger. I will tell you though that our PDF, if you haven't downloaded it yet, the images of the little girls that you want to be using in this superpower book, we're calling it our Little Girl Superpowers. These little girls will fit so perfectly on this 4x5 size. And I have created all of the words and phrases and things to also fit quite nicely. So I think that the 4x5 is a perfect size. I just think it's a fun size too. I have an example of a book that I created. This is what we're going to be making. This is from my I Am collage sheets that you can purchase on my Patreon. And it's $7 in the shop right now. I have a special on it for my birthday month. But this this is what we're going to be creating. So this is such a great size. You can add a lot of fun images, and you can just create this in an afternoon, which I really like. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this first sheet. We're going to take our masking tape, and we're going to lay down our masking tape. We're going to do it halfway. I'll show you here on this edge. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to lay down wax paper. I need to do that before I go much further. So do you see how I've done it halfway on that edge? But I do want to get wax paper. I'll do that here in a minute. And then we're going to take our second sheet. We're going to lay it directly on our second piece here, directly on, right up to the edge. Then we're going to fold this tape over. I literally love this way to make accordion books. And you may have an easier way, but this is just, for me, this is easy. I love it. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut these edges of this tape off. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how nice and easy that hinges. Look how nice that is. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, then we're going to open it up. We're going to put some more tape. Before I do that though, friends, I'm going to put some wax paper. Now, let me get this. And then I just eyeball it. Then you're just going to put it right down the center like that. Lifts right off with the wax paper. Then you're just going to take those scissors again, cut the edges of that tape off again here. And I just kind of like to do that to kind of get that tape. Perfect. Love it. Okay, then we're going to do the second, or the third piece here of paper. Again, on the half, like that. Take your watercolor paper, set it on the edge, fold it over, cut. It does look really cute when you use washi tape too, but I decided to use the masking tape because I want to, when I paint this, it's just going to be so cute. Then we're just, once again, going to put another piece of masking tape directly over that hint, that little fold there. And then cut this. That's it, guys. That is how you make an accordion book. I'm really hooked on these books right now because they're so easy. I always have the stuff you need to make it. I used to sew everything, you know, with the pamphlet stitch, which I still love to do because that makes kind of a whole different little look to your book, obviously, right? This is a fold-out book. But I just think this is so fun. And I think by using just the 3 sheets, it's just enough. Like, I have made them longer before, but when I have a theme to my journals, which I'm really into themes right now, this tells the story. Like these six pieces here, or 3 pieces, you know, 6 sides, they tell the story, and I really love it. To use just a few colors. I feel like my superpower color would be pink, and so that's kind of what I want you to think about as you go about creating this little book. Is number 1, I want you to go back to when you were a little girl, or just go back to a time of when you felt like anything could come true. I totally get it that maybe some of us had childhoods that weren't so perfect and so wonderful. I think we all definitely have, you know, some things from childhood that we remember that isn't so great. I know I do. But I do remember those times when I just felt so special and so magical. And like I could do anything. I had all of these dreams and these hopes and these wishes. And there were times in my little girl life when I really felt like I could make them come true. So that's the place I want you to go back to. And I want you to think about that little girl and what she may, you know, want to make in her book. Kind of approach this as, okay, so if I was sitting down right now, what I'm thinking about is like my, I was probably in 6th grade, and, you know, maybe even before that, maybe like 2nd grade, because I really had a hard time between 3rd and 5th grade. Those were some really hard years for me. But like 2nd grade, 2nd grade, and then again in 6th grade and 7th grade, believe it or not, junior high, I really had a good time in junior high those 2 years. But I really felt like I could do just about anything. And I had so many dreams and so many wishes. And I would have sat down and I would have definitely chosen pink. And then yellow because of the sunshine. I always have loved sunshine. So that's what I chose to do today. I like to water down my acrylic paint. And I'm just going to start randomly painting. Okay, so my other side is dry, that first side. But before I finish that up, I thought I would go over these questions, and hopefully again you have looked at this PDF, you've printed it off. So these are the 10 questions that we have for the wishes journaling questions, and this is to go along with not only creating this little superpower book, but also just for the rest of the month. We have a lot of projects this month, and I'm super excited about all of them. And that does include your wish collage, and then we've got a few other things coming up mid-month, so I'm really excited about that. But as a little girl, what did you wish for? Did any of your wishes come true? And that could be, you know, throughout your life. So think about maybe when you were a little girl. I know for me, one of my biggest wishes is I just wanted to find the love of my life. I always wanted to find that special someone that I could take care of, and that he could take care of me, and we could have a family. And I did find that person, and I found our anniversary is coming up. It's actually tomorrow, the day that I filmed this. I filmed this October 2nd, and tomorrow's October 3rd. And we'll be together 34 years and married 32 years. So that was a big wish. And but think about those little wishes. You know, I went to college, and that was a wish I always had. I got a degree in broadcasting. That was another wish I always had. Think about those big wishes, but also those little wishes. As a little girl, you had superpowers. Did you know that? Like how far you have come in your life. You are here and you made it, no matter what. What were your superpowers as a child? Did you bring any of those superpowers into your adult life? What are they? For me, I think probably my biggest superpower is resilience. When I think about just some of the things that I went through as a child, definitely, I think resilience is probably my biggest superpower. So that's what we're talking about when I say superpowers. It's not that we can fly, or that we can, you know, be strong physically, although we can be, but you know, like Thor kind of strong or something. But I'm talking about those characteristics that, like resilience and cheerfulness. Maybe that's a superpower for you, because maybe you just have always been an optimistic, cheerful person, and not, you know, not everybody is that way. That is definitely a superpower. Optimism would be a superpower. But I hope you get the idea when I said that. If you could go back to that little girl, what would you change about her, and what would you wish for her now? If you were given 3 wishes today, what would they be? What is one small everyday wish you have that would make every day easier for you? What superpowers do you wish you had today? Is there any way that you can work on the superpower you wish you had? What is the first thing you need to do to have it? I'm thinking about a superpower that I had when it came to my health quite a few years ago. I was a marathon runner, and I had perseverance. It became my mantra for many, many years. And I had perseverance in that particular part of my life. And that perseverance actually has stayed with me in other areas of my life. But I'm really wishing that I had that back now when it comes to my health. And I'm getting there. But definitely, I wish I had that perseverance as a superpower when it comes to my health. And then finally, throwing caution to the wind. Name your biggest wish you have for yourself. And I mean, when I say throw caution to the wind, I'm talking about you just let it all out. Like you decide that, like make it big, make it so unattainable even that you don't think that it can come true, and then watch it come true, right? That's what they always say. They say, make the wish that you don't think could come true and see what happens, which I find that so interesting. So I'm just going to do my other side now of my accordion book. This is how our accordion book looks. And don't you just love how the masking tape is it just takes on all that beautiful color, and it just looks pretty seamless, really. Okay, so we are ready to start. So how I like to start these kinds of projects is I like to get my PDF. So I know I want my little girls, right? And I made sure I put lots of little different girls to represent lots of little things in our life. I've got some of those bigger phrases, some of the smaller ones. Of course, I chose red because of the ruby red slippers. And then we have all of these magical things and wands and images and stars and magic, little magical homes and feathers. Add anything that you would like from your own stash, because if you're like me, you like to add lots of little things. And I'm gonna make this a really simple book, just something so magical and cute, very simple, that just kind of tells my superpower story and just reminds me that I am still that beautiful little girl with lots of wishes and hopes and dreams for the future. Hello. Okay, guys, I want to tell you what happened as I was creating this book. So I thought I really knew what I wanted to do with this project. And this happens to me a lot when I'm creating for you guys. I'll have an idea and I'll just kind of start going for it, right? And then when I start creating it, it kind of takes on a whole different life. And that is what happened with this little book. And I have to tell you, I have made a lot of these kinds of themed books and themed card decks and things like that. And I think that this one is probably the one I've learned the most out of. As I was creating this over the last two mornings, I literally was having awakenings. And for me, what an awakening is like an epiphany moment. I call them awakenings. And I really realized just how many superpowers my little girl self had and how I've carried those into my adult life. I really love this project. And what I've been inspired to do is I am actually going to share this whole book with you. I'm going to read it. And before I do, I want to tell you that, so on each page, I was inspired to choose one superpower that I had. And so I would journal, and as I was journaling, that superpower would just kind of come to me. And it was almost like, oh, wow. Like, I can't explain it. It just, I didn't even have to think about it. It just came to me, and I knew that, okay, yes, that was my superpower that I used and I needed for that time in my life. And I still have all of those superpowers. So this book was so healing, and I'm just going to read it. You are capable of more than you know. The magic is in me. The older I get, the more I realize my little girl self, she was a badass. She overcame so much. It's kind of hard for me to read some of this because I used a glitter pen. Oh boy. Oh, she worked hard, and she put her dream on her dreams. She worked hard on her dreams, and she made them happen. Her story may have been a hard one at first, but she persevered, and wow, here she is. You got it. You got this, girl. Each time a superpower would come to me, I ended up putting a box around that word. And I think what I'm going to do with all these words, these superpowers that I have, I'm going to compile them and then do a whole nother like spread in my art journal. So yeah, wow. I persevered. So here I go. Brave girl. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. Oh, Leslie, I remember you. You were all smiles and magic. You loved to play pretend with your babies and your stuffed animals. Your superpower as a little girl was imagination. You had so much of it. Your imagination spilled into all areas of your life, helping you create beautiful thoughts. I am power-filled. Sometimes life is hard, but I can do this. A wish is a silent hope that the heart whispers to the stars. Leslie, your home was filled with love, but hard times too. But girl, you were resilient and you made the best of it. I'm so proud of you. My sweet little girl self says, Leslie, when you were 8 or 9 years old, you were so scared. The fighting had become too much, keeping you up at night. Lying in bed, you peeked out from the covers and began praying. It was the first time, and you knew it was the best thing to do. Your superpower became prayer and has been ever since. You are loved. When I wrote this, I realized that prayer really is a superpower. It's my most powerful superpower. Prayer has gotten me through the toughest times of my life, and I continue to pray every single day. I am grateful for everything I learned. I am powerful. And as a little girl, I was really good at making up stories, playing alone and being alone. Sometimes it was just me. Mom was asleep, and then I would be playing beside her. Growing up with something, coming up with something to help me feel not so alone. I was really good at solitude. As a child, it was hard, but now it's when I work my best. And I realized as I was writing this, I was alone a lot as a child. My dad was often either at working or he would be out in the garage drinking. And my mom, she was depressed, and so she would sleep a lot. And as an only child, I would be alone a lot. Both my parents would be there, but not present with me. And so I realized that even though it was hard and I would get lonely sometimes, I really was good at solitude. And it taught me that I can be alone. I can be okay alone. I like myself. Like, I really like my company. And this was probably the biggest awakening I had. Creating this little book was, even though I spent a lot of time alone, and I used to be really bitter about that. It was something that really made me so sad. But I had that awakening as I finished this book this morning that it's really okay because I enjoy being alone. I'm okay with it. I love my people. I love my family. They're the most important thing, but I am okay with solitude, and not everyone is. And I'm grateful that I have that superpower. No one thinks I can do this, but I can. I am flying. My little girl self has the power. As a little girl, I made my own way. I had the confidence when no one thought I did. I wrote stories and acted in plays, dreaming of Saturday Night Live auditions and fame school. Confidence became my superpower. And this was another huge awakening I had creating this book, was that there was a lot of really rough parts of my little girl self. My childhood was not idyllic at all, but I ended up having such confidence, and I was made fun of a lot as a child and put down a lot as a child. But creating this book, I realized that in spite of all of that, I really truly had confidence in my abilities. I was a writer in 5th grade. And I have written ever since, and I have shared my writings, my art, myself. I was a state and national speaker in high school. I placed first in state, seventh in nationals. I had every lead in every school play. And I realized, I used to think that I wasn't confident and that I didn't have these abilities. And I realized making this little book that I do. This has been so powerful, friends. I encourage you to really think about this before you create this little book. Think about your childhood. Think about all of your beautiful superpowers, and they may surprise you. You may realize that you are so powerful beyond anything you ever imagined. I am powerful. Friends, this was beautiful to make, and I'm just so grateful for it. I'm grateful for all of you. I cannot tell you and say thank you enough for all of those that support me in this endeavor and my new mail art as well. This feeds my soul. It is truly an inspired endeavor, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. Thank you, and I look forward to watching you grow and seeing your journeys as you create these beautiful superpower books. Thank you.